Okay, what we're going to be going through here is a complete rundown on a setup to get trading version 11 and also indicator with the strategy number 6. We're going to be doing number 6 in this demonstration. Okay, now starting from the beginning, you want to know you got your MT4 all set up and ready to go, and you have downloaded the experts and indicators and what else is needed and put them in the proper position. So we're going to pretend that you have MT4 all set up and working. So the first thing what you want to do is open up the dollar turkey, because we're going to be using that to put the expert onto. And it's right here, so we're going to open that up. And normally it'll come up like this. And what you want to do is use the black template, because it'll hide all this stuff that's on the screen. So what we're going to do is create a black template. Okay, so now we got our black template. Now what we want to do is load the expert. And in this case, we're going to be using manager number 11, which is right here. So double click him, and we want to put him on the chart. So now you can set him up now the way you want, or whatever you want to do. In this experiment, what we're going to do is let's just set him at 0.1 lot size, and I'm going to use a spread of 4. Now these will all depend on what you want to, what your broker has or what you normally use. And then for down here for my trade comment, I'm just going to call this Strat 6 test 1. You can call it whatever you want, but I do it this way. That way this acts as a filter. When I do my results later on, I'll show you later on. But the rest we're going to leave alone for now, because we're going to be trading all 28 pairs down here, so we're not going to make any changes there. And we click OK. And manager number 11 comes up. And we can show you the whole thing here, and this is what he should look like. As you can see, we selected a 0.1 lot size, spread of 4, and you can see we're during a trading period and our spreads are all fairly decent right now. I try to do is stay away from the first 1 or 2 hours at the beginning of the week, as the spreads are kind of crazy, then everything has to settle down a little bit. Or when you get a new day, sometimes the spreads jump around a bit, so you'll have to be aware of that. And you can see our clocks are all running up here. Now if your broker time is not running, that means your broker is probably closed. Now you can start this up on a weekend if you'd like. Of course, you're not going to get a clock up here. But if you just want to open it up and look at it, you can do that. Okay, so now what we want to do is get our indicator set up on one of the pairs and make that as our default. So I'm just going to, you can click on any of these. We'll open up the Aussie CAD, and we will apply Strategy Trader number 11. And I'll get the window over here where you can see it. And already he has defaulted to 6, so we'll leave it at 6. And as you know, if you click on this, you get a pull down for all the other ones, which you have tried in the past. But right now we're going to be doing number 6. And I'm going to let it trade every day of the week, so I'll leave these all set to true. and I want it to continuously trade after it closes a trade to look for the next trade, so I'm going to leave this at false. And I'm also going to use Marty, which adds on trades if it goes against you a little bit. And also I'm going to use the add to trade. Let him set to true. So basically I'm using just all the default settings. Okay, now we click OK. And let's close this window out. And as you can see, it says no manager trading session time is selected, because if you go back here, remember we don't have any, we haven't turned this on, or we haven't turned on any trading time, so that's why it says that. But there we are, all set to go. Now what I'm going to do is save this. Where is it? Template. I'm going to save this as my default template. So now this is my default template. So whenever I open up a pair, it will have this particular template on it. Go back to here, and what I'm going to do is just close all trades. But usually what I do is I hit the refresh, the fresh start, and it closes all trades, and it also cleans everything up nice. And you got to wait for it to open back up. They were open. Now what we're going to need to do is open up all 28 pairs. So I'm just going to click on the open price action charts. And we'll give it a little bit here. And as you can see, it opened all 28 charts. So we have all 28 charts open. Now, if you want to get ready to start trading, or you have a trading time selected you want to use, you would turn that on. So what I'm going to do is, since we're already into a day, and actually I'm just doing this on Wednesday morning, so I'm just going to turn on select all, and I'm going to set this to trade 24 hours. Now, of course, you guys will maybe be doing something else. That's entirely up to you. And we turn on the trade 24. Now, as you look down the list, it tells us we are using strategy number 6, because it says S6, and we do have one that meets the first criteria. And as you can see, we got the arrow, which means it has passed the first criteria. Now there will be other things going on in here that it will look for, and if it meets all of those, then it will put a breakout line on the chart, and then what you will get over here is a horizontal arrow, hollow arrow going both ways, which will mean you have the breakout line, and we are just waiting for it to break through. Now you can make this chart whatever you want. You can do other things to it. You can do like colored candles on it if you want. Let's do this. Make this lime. Make this. Make that one red. Make this one lime. And make this one red. So it looks like that. You can make this look any way you want. If you want to put an indicator on here or moving averages, you can put them on there, but just remember they're going to take part of your processor time, so you don't want to load a lot of garbage on here. Remember, we're trying to trade automatically, and we're trying to use what's built into the strategy trader, the number 6 strategy. So we don't want a lot of stuff on here. It's kind of up to you. But now what I'm going to do, since I changed the chart, what I'm going to do, I don't have any trades going on yet. If I'd have trades open or going on, then I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to save this template as a new default template, because if you go back and look, you'll notice my other charts still have this old template on them. So now what I do is, get a number for that template. Template Aussie. You go down, you always start up here. The first one is this wrinkle one, which is be called 0. Your first template is always 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. So it is template 12. All I'm doing now is just figure out what number it is. Don't click on it, because then you'll screw up your one you're on. So it's number 12. So I'm just going to go over here and get rid of that, and I'm going to go over here to my template button, and I am going to put number 12 in there. Now that'll change all those templates. Now if you go down and look at them, you saw them blink on here a little bit. Now just remember, don't do this if you've got trades opened up, because it will screw up your trades. Now when you go over and look at all the charts, you notice they all have that same template on them. So that kind of concludes this particular portion. What I'll do now is I'll let this run, and then later on in the day or tomorrow, as I get trades opened up or different things showing, we'll do another part to add to this. Now you'll notice there is no take profit or stop loss button up here. The reason for that is because we do not have any open trades. Now just to show you, here we can give you an example how that works. Let's expand this a little bit. Let's say, let's just pretend this one took a long trade. This is the pound Aussie. What we can do is simulate that. Got select all turned on, we got the buttons turned on, we got trade 24. So if we go over here, what I'm going to do is just hit, let's just do a buy. And show you my alert windows over on the other screen here. Here's my alert window. You can see it says buy trade on the pound Aussie was sent. And this is Strat 6 test 1. Okay, so we have now a live trade. It was placed. And now you'll notice we've got add take profit and add stop loss. These only appear, remember, when you got an open trade, because we're not setting up take profits or stop losses on a chart like this here. We don't go back here and say, well, let's take a profit down here and let's put a stop loss up here. Well, there's no trade going on here yet, so there's no point in putting that. These are put onto an open trade. Okay, so there we have that. Now let's just say we want to put a take profit on here. Now if you just leave it alone the way it is, remember it's going to be automatic when it hits whatever it calculates as its take profit or stop loss. It's automatic. Everything's built in. But if you want to just put one in there for the heck of it, what you can do is click on take profit. You get a take profit line. Now it just places it randomly. So you want to do is double click it, and you get the little dots on the end of the line. You all know that. And you can put this wherever you want. So let's just put it there for the heck of it. Now this is a fixed take profit. Now when the price touches this or goes past it, and it has to touch it, the trade will close just like it's an automatic trade. And then it will resume looking for a new trade eventually when the signals are correct. Now, if, say, we're going up and the automatic is still on, we can't turn that off. If all of a sudden it says, hey, I see a take profit here and it's going to start reversing and go back down, it may close the trade before it even gets to your take profit. So don't post saying, hey, it didn't hit my take profit, it shut down prior to hitting my take profit. Well, the reason it closed was probably because it hit the automatic take profit, which you cannot turn off. We are still automatic. So that's your take profit. Now stop loss, you click that and you get a line. It places it just randomly any place. And you can see right now it's 52 pips, 51 pips. It's changing a little bit. That is measured from your entry at the, well, actually no, it's measured right now, it's measured from your close, I believe. Yeah. So right now, this take profit is measured from your entry point. So if you were to measure this between these two, that would be 25 pips. But this here, when you click that on there, it's measured from your present price, which right now is 47 pips. Now you can move that. Right now it's a fixed stop loss because it's red. It says movable fixed stop loss line. This is fixed. It will not move unless you pick it up and put it some other place. There, right now it's at 29 pips. And as you can see, that number changes up there as you move this around. Now if you want to trail, I say right now it's 31 pips, you just click this again. Now it becomes a trailing stop loss. And it will trail at 31 pips, which is this number here. And as you can see, it's at 30 right now. So if this goes to like 32, then this will trail. It will start to move. And actually it did. As you can see, it changed color from red to orange. So orange now means this is trailing. And we'll follow this up at 31 pips. Now if you want to change this, you say, well, I want to tighten this up a little bit. Just click on this, bring it up again, and move it up closer. And click on that. Now we're going to trail at 17 pips. Now, if there happens to be something else in here in the auto part that tells it to exit, it may exit before it hits this. So just remember that. And also, say you entered this trade automatically. Remember when the strategy trader enters the trade automatically, when it closes over that breakout line that puts on the chart, it will add Marty down here, because remember we got Marty turned on. So it'll add 3 Marty lines. It doesn't do that when you do a manual buy. Manual buy does not put Marty lines on the chart. So it will put Marty lines on the chart. And you can move those Marty lines if you want to. Just remember, it puts 3 of them on the chart, and you want to keep them in the same order. So the one up here, like number 1, don't grab it and move it way down here and still have 3 and 2 above it. Try to keep the same order, but you can move those around if you like. Because remember, back in the settings is where you set up the spacing between them. But if you don't like that spacing when they come up on the chart, just move them where you want to. And like I said, if you're in a trade and you got Marty lines down here because it's an automatic trade, and you click on Add Stop Loss, it will delete those Marty lines and you will not be able to put them back on again. because you're telling it you don't want to use Marty, you want to use automatic and add stop line either fixed or trailing. Okay, so we'll let this run and then we'll probably add on to it later on. When we get some automatic trades, we can show you what we do to it.